Silver just touched $63 per ounce. $63 per ounce. I mean, that is just my word. So there's a group of people online who are very interesting to me because I'll give you a few examples why they're so interesting. They're like the opposite of me in so many ways. They think the vaccine is a good thing. I think they're on about 12, 13 booster shots now. The COVID vaccine, the flu vaccine. Keep going and get your booster. Oh no, the COVID vaccine was safe and effective. Doesn't cause blood clots. There's no harm in it. Keep going to get your COVID vaccine. That's something I disagree with them on. They think the digital ID is a good thing. Why, Dave Silver, why are you saying the digital ID? Don't go and get it. No, I'm going to go and get my digital ID. They really think it's a good thing. CBDCs, the European digital currency coming, that's a good thing. Come on. The banks are honest. The politicians don't lie. Let's go and get a digital ID. Genuine, I'm not making this up. They believe that. They don't believe any conspiracies exist. There's no conspiracy. No, there's no conspiracies. What are you talking about? You're a conspiracy theorist. And they go after the easy ones. There's so many easy conspiracies to go after. UFOs, aliens walk among us, Elvis Presley still alive, all the usual. Easy to go after, and all conspiracy theorists are all the same. Tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists. There's something about lizards. I'm not sure what the conspiracy is. The royal family of shape-shifting lizard people or something like that. And they make a mockery of all those, which if you want to spend your time doing that, fine. I wouldn't waste my time on it myself. But they lump all the conspiracy theorists together. They've trolled me. They come after me. I had a proper attack on me because I like silver. They don't like silver. Oh no, don't buy silver. No. And they genuinely believe the end of November, when the announcement that the data center melted down in Illinois, in America, it was the coldest time of the year. It was like freezing. It would have been easier to believe it if it was summer and it was a hot time of the year. But this was a time when outside was below zero. There's a joke. Why don't you just open the windows? But no, they genuinely believe. No, it melted down. They believe the official story. It's Comedy Central gold, what they believe. There's nothing shady going on in the silver market. They're attacking me for this. Dave Silver thinks it's a conspiracy that the announcement that the data center melted down, melted down. That's why they had to stop trading for silver for 10 hours because the silver price was shooting up. So this is how we are opposite. This group, some of them are on this group called Mind of Steel, and they don't like any conspiracy theories. There's no conspiracies. No. You're a tinfoil hat nutcase if you think politicians lie. They lied about COVID. They lied about the COVID vaccine. No, they didn't lie. The COVID vaccine's good for you. Go on. And if you want to, keep going and getting your boosters. Yeah, you can keep going and getting your COVID vaccine that's your choice. I'm not going to try and persuade you otherwise. I personally wouldn't myself, but that's me. And it's so interesting. This data center melted down. I firmly believe it was a conspiracy. Let's confirm, what is a conspiracy? A conspiracy is one or more people, two or more people. They do something that's wrong, that's illegal, and they lie about it. That is a conspiracy. You've got large conspiracies, you've got small conspiracies. They always start for conspiracy theory. Later, it might become a conspiracy fact. It might not. But it's still, whether it's been proven or not, doesn't mean it wasn't a conspiracy. Some examples are the Iraq War II. It was at the time Tony Blair was the Prime Minister of Britain. Bush Jr. was the Prime Minister of... Bush was the President of America. And there was a conspiracy theory that they were lying about weapons of mass destruction. They made up this lie, said Saddam Hussein's government's developing weapons of mass destruction. I think it was a conspiracy. They did something that was wrong. They went in and killed all those people. And it was based on a lie. I think there were no weapons of mass destruction. It was a lie. That means it started off as a conspiracy theory, and pretty much now I think it's a conspiracy fact, isn't it? Maybe that's debatable. But whether it is a fact or not, I'm firmly in the camp it was a conspiracy. Conspiracies do happen. Politicians do lie. Big pharma executives do lie about their products being safe and effective. And it's foolish to think otherwise. But this group, Mind of Steel, they do think otherwise. And they genuinely disagree with me that what happened to the Cyrus 1 data center, where they shut down silver trading for 10 hours because the silver price was running away and there was people standing for delivery and they had to do something. They had an emergency meeting. What should we do? Well, let's just shut down the silver market. How are we going to get away with that? I don't know. Come up with some ideas. Well, what if we said the data center melted down? Nobody's going to believe that. There's some stupid people. Look at this group, Mind of Steel. They fight against all these conspiracy theories, and they oh yeah, and we might have some paid shills in there as well. Come on, let's go with the story. The data center melted down, and someone said, look, there's all these backup systems. How are we going to say they all failed? I don't know. Let's just make up a story that the backup system failed, and even the emergency backup system, that failed as well. And there was such a lot of trading activity. The silver market was so hot, it melted down the data center. And someone said, listen, no one's going to believe that. And they say, I know, but we're at the point now where we can just lie. It doesn't matter whether people believe us or not. It's a serious situation, let's just do it. And they ran with it. And some people do believe them. And I think it's hilarious. And some people, no, Dave Silver, you're wrong. Silver's going to go back down. Silver, I know it's blown through 60 like a hot knife through butter, just like it did 50 only a couple of weeks ago. And I think it will be 3 figures in a very short time. I think now some foolish ones are selling silver. There's some people going and selling. They think, oh, silver's high at the moment. I think they'll be buying it back at over 100. And I think the main rush, the stampede of silver investors hasn't happened yet. I think that will come after $100 an ounce silver, which will be in 2026, which is only a couple of weeks away. 2026 is literally a couple of weeks away. And I think there will be a stampede of people buying silver at over $100 per ounce. It'll be in pounds. It'll be over £100 per ounce very soon. Come on, Kiki, let's go this way. So the big stampede hasn't happened yet. Just at a time when the mine supply is falling. Mine supply has gone down, the lowest in years now. It's gone down to 820 million ounce. 2025, there was less silver came from mine supply than 2024, and that was less than 2023, and it's going down. It used to be over 1 billion ounces every year. Why is it falling? Because the mines are running out. They've got all the easy to get to silver. I'm not saying silver's running out in the Earth's crust. There's loads of silver in the seabed. I'm sure in Antarctica and all these places, there's loads of silver, but it's going to cost a lot to get it. The easy to get to silver has been got to and burned up, used up in industry. So now it's fallen to 820 million ounces of silver. That is income on a balance sheet. Think of a business with income and expenses. The income is 820 billion ounces coming in every year from mine supply. Outgoing is over 2 billion. 2 billion's going out. We don't know the real figures because a lot of it's classified. It's a rough estimate, and the official figures are all lies. The official figures come from mainly a guy called Jeffrey Christian from the CPM group, and there's someone called Mike Lorenzo, and there's others. There's Metals Focus and the Silver Survey, Silver Supply. These ones, they come out with the official numbers of supply-demand fundamentals of silver, and they lie on purpose, and they've been caught in their lies. And they even go back and they change historical figures. They do that. Kiki, come on. It's very interesting because they obviously lied, and then when it's obvious they lied, they go back and they change. They revised last year's and the years before. They revised them up so that the percentage increase this year is not so much. And they keep doing that because the percentage increase is shocking. And if people knew that, they'd be rushing to buy silver. But they have to lie. They have to tamp down investment interest. They have to do everything they can to turn people away from silver. And this guy, Jeffrey Christian, is constantly trying to think of bearish things to say about. He doesn't like silver's going up. Oh, no, silver's not good. And he's got this blinkers on, the way he sees the silver market. And he said, this is just the way the silver market works. I've been talking to him about this, emailing back and forth. And he thinks I don't understand how the silver market works. And I think I do understand how you see the silver market. I understand that. And I think that is wrong. I think it's illegal activity. I think you can have an infinite amount of promises of future delivery of silver. And it looks like you've flooded the market with silver. There's loads of silver. Look at that. You could create 1 billion ounces every month if you wanted to on paper for future delivery and sell them into the market to suppress the price. But that is just building up future problems, because you can't build circuit boards with paper promise of silver. You need real silver, and we're running out. Income is 820 million ounces. Outgoings is over 2 billion ounces. Could be well over, we don't know. There's so much classified military projects. We don't know how much is going into robotics every year. We don't know how much is going into aerospace. All the military projects, we don't know. Solar panels, we kind of do know, but they say it's only 200 million ounces, they say. Well, that we know that's a lie. It's nearer to 500 or 600 million ounces are going into all solar projects around the world every year. And that is increasing because this COP 2030, we're talking about this transition away from fossil fuels and to increase clean, renewable, sustainable energy. They've got to increase solar panel production. They're going to have all these desert areas just full up of solar panels. The south side of mountains in the northern hemisphere is all just full up of solar panel farms. And I think it's a good thing. You know, free energy from solar panels is a good thing, but then you need good battery tech. And these new solid state batteries are amazing technology. Each vehicle has a solid state battery, needs about 1 kilo of silver in each application. But they're going to have huge fields full of solid state batteries to store all the energy from the deserts, all being full up of hundreds or thousands of gigawatts of solar panels. But where's the silver going to come from? Jeffrey Christian will downplay it. Oh no, they're thrifting silver. They're using copper instead. Yeah. Well, if you're using copper, the solar panels only last about 5 years, and they're not very efficient. If you use silver, heterojunction silver uses far more. Heterojunction solar, HJT solar panels, the very latest generation. All the big factories are going over to make heterojunction. They use a lot more silver, much amount more silver, but they last 25-30 years compared to the cheap solar panels that use copper instead. The copper, it goes all green, it oxidizes, it corrodes. The solar panels don't last, and copper is not such as good conductor of electricity. It's not very good thermal conductor as silver is, and it's not as good at light reflectivity, which is what you need for the solar cells. Copper is good at those things. It's good at thermal conductivity, it's good at electrical conductivity, and it's good at thermal conductivity, light reflectivity, but nowhere near as good as silver. I think on the scale, I think copper light reflectivity is about 10 or 20. Silver scores the perfect 100. When it comes to electrical conductivity, a lot of people still get mixed up on this. They think gold is better than silver. I speak to so many people that say, no, gold's better conductor of electricity. That is not true. That is a lie. Gold scores about 30 electrical conductivity. Copper scores about 70. Copper's pretty good. Silver scores the perfect 100. But gold and silver don't corrode and oxidize the same way that copper does. Copper solar panels, they last about 5 years. You have to chuck them away. Why would you spend money on that when silver's still so cheap? It's only $63. As I spoke today, silver touched $63. Mark my words, soon it will be $100, and then you're going to see a flood of investors, a stampede of investors. Just as the banks are wobbling, the fiat currencies are going down. There's a real worry the stock market's going to crash. Cryptos are looking very unstable. There's going to be a rush to safety. The Titanic has hit the icebergs. You want to get into the lifeboats. The lifeboats are gold and silver. Gold is $4,500 per ounce. It's very expensive. Silver's still $63 an ounce. So, you know, in the cup next year in 2026, it's going to be $100 an ounce. But $100 an ounce is still very, very cheap. You go to the coin shop, the bullion dealer, an ounce of gold will be $5,000, by then $6,000. And silver's like $150. Oh, I'll buy 10 silver ounces. There's going to be a rush to safety. Get in the lifeboats. Both gold and silver are the lifeboats, and silver is much more attractive for investors. There's going to be a stampede of investors to rush to buy silver.